Welcome to the Black Entrepreneur Experience podcast, inside the business, buzz, and brilliance of Black entrepreneurs. Here is your host, Dr. Frances Richards.
What happens in Vegas goes all over the world on Black Entrepreneur Experience, episode number 494. Thank you for joining us as we elevate the Black Entrepreneur Experience by interviewing CEOs, thought leaders, innovative thinkers, and Black entrepreneurs across the globe. I'm your host, Dr. Frances Richards. Multi-business mogul, serial entrepreneur, self-proclaimed financial activist, founder of Bella Sloan Entreprises. Welcome Herman Dolce Jr., aka the Haitian CEO.
Dr. Richards, thank you so much for having me today. I really appreciate it.
I've given our audience such a brief bio. Why don't you fill in the gaps? Share with our audience what you'd like them to know about you and your business.
Well, my name is Herman Dolce Jr. I am a first-generation Haitian immigrant. My parents moved to the United States from Haiti to Brooklyn, New York in 1978. And 3 years later, here I was. I am the founder of Bella Sloan Entreprises. It is a company that I've named after my firstborn daughter, Bella Sloan Dolce, with my amazing wife of 11 years, Janelle. And we have another amazing daughter, Olivia Monroe Enterprises. I started another company for her also. And my company, Bella Sloan, when we first started, we were doing credit repair, credit education with our students and clients. And then we evolved into a funding company where we help all type of businesses get capital, because 80% of businesses fail within the first 5 years because they don't have enough capital. And we help them get the capital. And then from that, Bella Sloan Academy was formed because, social media is a really big platform. And yes, we were helping people, but people were like, well, can you teach me to do what you do? And then so Bella Sloan Academy was born. So we are over 4,000 mentees strong. We meet every single Wednesday night teaching and educating people about financial literacy. We have amazing coaches that come on. And that's pretty much who Herman Dolce is and what I've been doing for the last 10 years.
Thank you for that. Do you have pretty much a backstory? Why capital? Why money? Why finance?
How much time do you have, Doc? I know there's an hour podcast. The long and short of it is I want to talk about how I got into it. So when my wife was pregnant, we went on a baby moon. And that's the trip you go on when you're about to have your first trip, your first baby. I think she was like 6 months pregnant. We went to Italy for like 2 weeks. My wife knew how to do things on a shoestring budget. Went there for 2 weeks, got back, and I didn't have enough time, PTO, to take off to be with my daughter. And I never forgot that moment. And my brother was like, well, unless you own your own, you'll never be free, right? And I never forgot that moment. And I was like, well, I don't know how to start a business. I don't want to be like everybody else on social media, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, again, he reiterated it. He's like, that credit thing that you do it for free for people. You should charge people for that. I'm like, no, I'm not going to charge people for that. That's crazy. They really need that information. I used to write the letters and stuff like that. And he's like, this is the second line he told me. They're going to pay somebody. They might as well pay you. And I was like, aha. And that's a one line. And I was like, that's very, very true. I called like 10 of my friends. I was like, hey, let me fix your credit for free. Screenshot the results, started posting them on social media. And that was the birth of my business with advertising those receipts, because I have a tagline called Success Has Receipts, right? Trademarked. Then in order to become better at my craft, I went on YouTube University, started learning things, other thought leaders, other people who were better than I was in the credit restoration segment. And then you know how that YouTube algorithm treats you. I tripped into business funding, business credit. And when I learned that if you got good credit, you have a business, you have an LLC, you got that piece of paper, you can get $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 on the low end with just your signature to invest in yourself, your mind, your business. It took me to a whole nother level personally, and it took my business to a whole nother level because I started teaching that on my platform and educating people on why funding for your business is so important, because it doesn't report to your personal credit report. You can max out those credit cards responsibly, and we'll talk about that a little later, and it doesn't hurt your credit, and you have this capital to invest. And, we're supposed to use credit to make money, not to buy stuff. It changed my business, my mindset, my clients, my mentees. And then we have funded over $100 million in the last 10 years.
Wow, that is an amazing story. Mm-hmm. There's so many brands and businesses that are dominating. Talk about a brand or business that's dominating that you admire and why.
you can ask that question without talking about tech companies, right? And then I want to talk about On Cloud. It's a sneaker company. So the tech companies obviously are your Apple, your Meta, your Google, your Amazon, which are all examples of businesses that took on venture capital, which is debt, combined with a strong business plan, strong marketing plan, and that were not profitable for years. And there's some messages in there, anybody starting a business. And then eventually now these businesses are $1 trillion businesses because they leveraged the debt with smart people, a business plan, and now they're helping people all over the world, the good, bad, and ugly that comes with tech companies. And then you have the other spectrum of a company called On Cloud, which is, if I'm not mistaken, a Swedish sneaker company, which is all the rage right now. They just came over to America, so America is very familiar with them now. And I think they became more popular when Roger Federer signed off as not only an investor, but a brand manager for them. These are companies that are scaling significantly because they were able to raise the capital, have money, which is the gasoline that you put in your business to help it expand and grow. I want to touch base on something for a little bit, if you'll allow me, because credit, whether it's personal or business, is a double-edged sword. When we're not educated on it, it can be very dangerous. But when you are educated on it, it's an extremely powerful tool when you do have it. I tell my clients and my mentees that come to any of my channels, not everyone needs to be a business owner. Not everybody needs to be an entrepreneur. I don't care what social media is telling you, but everyone needs to invest, right? And how you invest is being able to raise capital so that you invest in businesses or yourself. And that's super crucial.
That's a great question, Herman, or parlaying into the next question.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to step back because you alluded to it before, businesses fail. Talk to the emerging business, the diverse business. A lot of specifically Black-owned businesses are undercapitalized.
Mm-hmm.
What advice would you give them?
Number one, get educated on the sector that you're in. A lot of Black entrepreneurs, they love to get into service-based businesses first. And that's what I did too, instead of products or consulting services. So we go into service business, whether it's hair, credit repair, cleaning company, whatever it is, right? So whatever you're going into, get educated on it. There's most likely somebody that has done it before. And the greatest form of flattery is copying. So I have, which brings us to part 2, is getting a mentor in your space, right? I've been in this business for over 10 years. I'm 43 years old and I still take mentorships. I still pay to go to conferences. I used to have to learn from people who have done it, have been successful, or who have done it and have failed, because it gives me the blueprint on what to do when I'm about to take on $10,000, $20,000 in capital to start a business. And another way to avoid that, to start entrepreneurs, is to, and this one of my mentors taught me this, his name is Storm Leroy, your 9 to 5 should be your first business partner. What do I mean by that? What I mean by that is after the bills are paid, you put some savings away, etc. That money you have left over, that's what you should use to start your business. Let it fund your business. Don't borrow money from friends, family, or go get business credit or leverage your personal credit. Don't do that. Use your leftover money after you've taken care of your life to invest into your business or your mindset or whatever trainings that you need to do. And when it works, or if it works, then you put gasoline on it by going to get business capital. You go to the banks. Hey, banks, you see I've started a business. I didn't ask you for any money. And you see I'm making deposits. I need $5, $10, $15, $20,000 because I have a proof of concept. I know it works. Now it is time to expand. So now your second business partners are American Express, Chase, Wells Fargo, Bank of America.
Who are your top 2 mentors? And what lessons did they teach you?
I will say one of my good business mentors is Myron Golden, amazing speaker, orator, man of faith, but also a good businessman. Definitely been to a bunch of his conferences, took a couple of his mentorship courses, and he's taught me a lot about managing, structuring my business and how to offer products and different levels of product for different tier of people that I serve. So I have a cheap product that is $50 and I have a $10K product, and then I have a middle tier product. So Bella Sloan Entreprises caters to many different entrepreneurs or people that we can be of service to. My first mentor is my namesake, my father, Herman Dolce. And my dad taught me financial literacy. My dad used to sit me down and he would pay bills with me. And it was like 9, 10 years old, 11. I didn't know what he was doing. You come home from work on Fridays, bring me into his man cave. He's like, go get the checkbook. And then I knew where the checkbook was. I kept it in the hidden place. I didn't know what he was teaching me then. And then he would show me the bills every Friday. He would do this. Here's a water bill, here's a gas bill, here's the mortgage. And he was like, okay, this is what daddy made. And he would have his paycheck because my dad used to get paid every Friday. And he's like, this is what daddy made. This is what needs to be paid. So he's like, okay, water bill. So I will write out to Philadelphia Water Works how much it was. And I would write it in the checkbook. He would give me the next book. And then he would sign the checks. And then how much is left this week? $200. So he did it for two reasons. One reason, financial literacy, how to balance a checkbook, totally got it. But the other thing was, no, I can't afford to buy the Nintendo or the $100 Jordans because you see how much daddy has left and we didn't buy food yet. And I got to give mom money. The financial literacy component of what my dad taught me and also how to be a respectable human being helped me in doing customer service. Not to bring down the room today, but today is the 1 month anniversary of my father's passing. He just died a month ago. So shout out to my father and the amazing lessons that he has given me so I can be a father and teach things to my children.
And my sincere sympathy for
I appreciate that, doctor.
passing. I want you to have a monologue. And I want you to name this person, living or not.
Okay.
It impacted your life so much. Who is that person and what are you saying to that person?
Doc, we're going to have to rewind and bring up my father again. I don't know whether it's because I'm in a vulnerable place or I'm in a reflective place, but right now it'd have to be my father. I think that I can correlate so many things in my life right now to the direct mentorship and guidance of my father, whether it's my marriage and how I deal with my wife. So I had a first row seat to the vows of in sickness and in health, in good times and in bad times, for richer or for poorer, until death do you part. I had that example. And I remember when I was older, when I was in my 20s and 30s, and my father used to be really honest with me. He's like, marriage is really hard. And he's like, sometimes your mom is difficult, but he's like, I want to show you that I made a promise to your mother, myself, and to God that until death do you part. My dad had stroke 9 years ago and he deteriorated. So he was in hospice and we took care of him as he deteriorated and died, right? Literally in my house. And I watched my mom put the cot next to the hospital bed, wash him, take care of him. He never had a bed sore in 9 years. My wife is a nurse. She helped care for my father. She changed my father's diaper. So my father taught me how to even choose a wife. Because, the word tells you a man that finds a wife finds a good thing. So she was a wife when I found her, right? So he taught me things like that. I told you the things that he taught me with financial literacy. He told me how to be a respectable person. My dad was a janitor and my dad put a suit to go on to work every day. And I didn't know till I was in college that my dad, so he had just a character and an aura about him that no matter what you do in life, you have to be respectable, whether you're a garbage man or whether you're the CEO of a company. And unfortunately, my father never got to see Haitian CEO. And it's my one regret that does make me sad. So my wife bought me a Corvette. I was able to buy a big home. My kids are in an amazing private school. And his body was here, but his mind was gone. And it's the only thing. And my brother started an amazing restaurant in Philadelphia. So these little things that he instilled in us and he never got to see. And it's one of the things that I tell people right now in the last days of my father was, as men, leaders of households, it is important that we plant seeds for fruit that we will never see. So everything that I'm implementing in my daughters right now, we go on walks 5 times a week. Daddy, can we go on a walk? They're only 5 and 6-year-old. It's like our thing. And we walk and talk. When I leave, they will always remember the walks and the conversations that we had. And I hope that continues when they become teenagers. But those are the things my mentor and my father has taught me over the 43 years that I had him.
That's beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing that. You talked about service-based businesses versus products-based. Do a deeper dive into that, Herman.
So a service-based business, say for instance, someone who opened up a beauty salon, right? Wonderful business. When you open up that business, your time, kind of like a job, your time is connected to your clientele. So if a beautiful young woman comes in, wants to get her hair done, you charge $200, wash and set, and whatever happens in the beauty salon, right? And let's say, for instance, it takes you 2 hours, right? So you made the $50 per hour. but we didn't calculate rent. We didn't calculate the products and your time, right? Entrepreneurs that are in the service-based business, they're like, oh, I made $200 in this hour, hour and a half. So you think it's a lot of money, but not understanding the breakdown of the cost of what it takes for you to do something. That service-based business is super important versus if you are selling a product. That same salon, oh, well, I have my own shampoo, skin conditioner that I'm using on you that I can sell you for $20, $30 a bottle. I also have that online, right, on Amazon, and it's making me money 24/7 without me doing anything, right? So the product versus the service. So it's good to get into the service business, but there's a time cost that new, especially Black entrepreneurs, are not calculating versus a product. Another example of that is when I first purchased my home, right? We're sitting on about a half an acre. I came to look at the property and my neighbor, I didn't buy the house yet, he was mowing his lawn. And I was like, and it's like a half acre is a lot to mow with just a hand mower. I'm like, well, how long does that take you? He's like 3.5 hours front and back. I was like, 3.5 hours? He's like, yes. So I was like, oh, so I'm never going to mow my lawn. Because at that time I was shifting into a subscription-based business, number one, and I had products that I was selling. So I was able to calculate my hourly rate for myself. So in 3 hours, I have a wonderful gardener. I've had him for many, many years. He cuts all the grass for all my properties. I pay him. He charges me $40 a week, and he has the big mower that he sits on. It takes him 15 minutes. Zoom, zoom, doctor. He's done, right? And he's on to the next neighbor, right? And I only got to pay him $40, right? I make more than $40 an hour with my businesses. I can do a cost analysis and see. So like, okay, we sold $1,000 in credit repair. The subscription program, we did $3,000 today. So I'm able to calculate that it is literally not worth my time to cut my grass. I can pay my amazing colleague worker, and he's a business owner, $40 because my time is definitely worth more than that. So for business owners who are doing service-based business, think about what other verticals you can put into your business to increase your dollar per hour rate. Because there comes a point in time where certain things are just not worth your time anymore. And then we'll go down the rabbit hole of friends, family, and other things too. They're not worth your time anymore. So start up with the service business, but think about the upsells that you could put into that business.
There's a lot of rewards and risk in being an entrepreneur.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Talk about a costly endeavor.
Okay, and there's many. So I'm going to be very transparent. There's business deals that I've done that have cost me hundreds of thousands of dollars, maybe $250,000, a lot. And the main thing was because I didn't have mentorship. I got caught up with the glitz and glam of people posting their Rolexes and cars and stuff like that. And that's why I have a tagline called Success Has Receipts. Posting the cars and Rolexes are not receipts. Actual testimonials from your people that you have served are your true resume. I'll give you an example. When I first got into real estate, I partnered up with somebody who I thought was a good entrepreneur, but from retrospect, they really never showed the receipts. And I think me and my colleagues, we got together, we did a group fundraising, and we lost about $80,000. And we're in the hole. It is what it is. I didn't give up because I had business funding and I ran it back again. And this time I actually got a good mentor who had helped many, many people. And then we ended up making the 80,000 back. And now we've done several real estate deals since then. The second example is when I was going to purchase something on Temple's University campus in Philadelphia. It looked like a good deal. Property was $100,000. It was fully gutted, but it was framed up. And the ARV was $500,000. It looked like a no-brainer to me. But then I called my mentor. He came. Literally, he was there for 5 minutes. He looked around. He's like, it's a bad deal. And I was like, what are you talking about? Here are the numbers. He's like, well, number one, the framing for the entire building, and it was a 4-story building, the framing is done incorrectly. You have to rip it all out. I was like, what? He's like, you have to rip it all out. And the sprinkler systems that was already installed had to be redone too because the framing was put around it. So he's like, that alone is $120,000. So you're going to buy it for 100 and you have to redo this work. So you're 220 in and you still haven't put HVAC, electricity. You haven't done anything else. He's like, it's too thin. And it's your first deal. It's not a good deal to do. So having mentors and taking losses in the beginning actually built my character and made me understand that lessons are not truly losses. I mean, losses are considered lessons to me. So I needed it, and now I'm in a better place, and being able to bounce back from them is truly important. That's why I say entrepreneurship is not for everyone.
Let's take a snapshot of the last 30 days. What was
Mm-hmm.
your biggest win?
Okay. So as you know, the last 30 days has been extremely difficult for me and my family. But literally, again, testament to my father. I think this podcast is going to be about my father. The day my father passed away, he died like 5 o'clock in the morning. We was all with him when he took his last breath. Doc, do you know at 8 o'clock that morning, I had to bring my daughter to school for her first day of school? Yeah, first day of school. And I deserve an Oscar, right? I had to put it on for my daughter and make it happen. 3 days after that Saturday, I had my own personal conference, FICO and Funding. We had it in Philadelphia. We do it once a year. 400 or 500 people bought tickets. I still had to show up. I couldn't do refunds. I wasn't going to cancel it. My father had passed. It was time to move on. I was going to bury him the next Friday. But I had people that counted on me and needed me to be there. And it was an amazing, successful event. And of course, my mentees were a community. So they showered me with love while I was on that stage. And Doctor, for me to be on that stage, and we actually had a 6-figure day that day with ticket sales and merch and all that stuff. So that was another win. But me being able to stand up and make that happen and still be able to lead my team to have a successful day, that was the biggest win for me in the last 30 days.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I definitely understand. Understand. Thank you for sharing that.
Mm-hmm.
You have such an attitude. We're going to talk about an attitude of gratitude.
Mm-hmm.
And I call this a thank fest.
Okay.
Thank people and situations that has impacted your life. Have at it.
Sanika Weaver. This was my first real estate mentor after I had a bad experience. She saved me because in our space and with our people, Doc, once we take one investment loss, we don't get back in the game. It's too devastating for us because it's not part of our culture and how we were raised. But she was like, no, we all take losses. Let me show you. And she literally put me by her side, got on a plane, went to Miami for one day and spent the day. And she helped. I watched her raise $250,000 in capital, bring that money back to Philadelphia, invest in real estate. And she has amazing portfolios. So Sanika Weaver is one person. Another person, Doc, believe it or not, is the CEO of my company that actually hired Damaris. Why I say that is because she is a single mother of 2, and she runs this company like it's her 3rd child. I remember, Doc, when I had a merchant account, we won't name them, and they held $100,000 in my money. But before they did that, $20,000 was taken out that account. And my CEO called me at 2 a.m. She's like, $20,000 missing from the account. And I'm like, oh, I moved it so I can do payroll. And she's like, oh, okay, you got to let me know these things, yada, yada, yada. When I hung up the phone, I realized something. She has my back and she's watching and she's taking care of the business. And she taught me how important good help is. People who care about your business, love about your business, and care about the mission of the business. So that's super important when you're first starting out a company, because when you scale to 20, 30 people, you lose that. But still the core foundation people who help you with your business is super, super important. And I would say my third mentor is Marcus Barney. His name is him500 on Instagram. He showed me how to systemize my business. I remember when I went on a podcast, $1 Million Worth of Game, with my good brother Wallow and Gilly, and they have millions of followers. Like, I think between the two of them, like 7 million. So when I went on the podcast, my episode got 750,000 views that first week. So that's a lot of eyes watching me. Now imagine this, Doc. If I had went on that episode, which without having systems put in place with my business. So I said, hey guys, text the number 555-3939. I'll send you a free copy of my ebook on how to raise $50,000 in credit. If I went on that podcast and I didn't have that system, and I would have just gave them my Instagram name, Haitian CEO, I would have had 750,000 people just go to my Instagram, DM me, and I had no system to communicate with them. But instead, I said, hey, text this number. And then the system automatically sent everybody my ebook. So about 100,000 people signed up for the ebook, Doc. And this was around Black Friday. So now I had everybody's name, number, and email because you had to give me that to get the free ebook. So guess what I did, Doc? Black Friday weekend, I text all 100,000 of those people, hey, I have a product for sale, yada, yada, yada. Because They already know, like, and trust me. I had the systems in place. They already got something for me that I know was quality in that ebook. And then we did our first 6-figure day that Black Friday. And that's because a mentor taught me how to have systems in place for your business that helps you expand and grow.
That's awesome. What is something that we as consumers don't know about the credit business or the financial business that we should know?
Wall Street Trapper, another gentleman on Instagram, he taught me an important lesson: the financial prey and the financial predators. The financial predators are like the lending institutions who take your money, right? And then, say, for instance, you deposit $10,000 into a bank account. You can't walk in the next day and take the $10,000 out. You have to give them a heads up. That's number one. You go to an ATM, they charge you to get your money back. So these little fees and things that if you overdraft, it's $30. They don't send you a text message and be like, hey, your account is low. Why? Because they want to charge you $30. Why? Times 300 million Americans. That's billions of dollars in fees. They are the financial predators. There is no interest in them teaching you about credit, financial literacy. Having better credit makes your car note better, money cheaper. Why would I teach you that? I make more money with your ignorance. I think that understanding where you fall, being a financial prey or financial predator, is super important to our mission at Bella Sloan Enterprises to educate people as soon as possible. That's why we have a children's book. We go speak at colleges, universities about financial literacy, because adults are finding about this information too late.
You talked about your company. What is the culture of your company, Bella Sloan?
I know we're kind of, but at the tail end of the Me Too movement. And I say that because my company is 99% women, 99% women. And I have one man that works for me. Shout out to Mike Morgan. My CEO is a woman. My VP is a woman. My website ads person, everyone is a woman. And it was kind of by accident, but kind of on purpose. Women take care of things. We are an equal opportunity employer, though, but women take care of things. So the culture that is set up, because I have a lot of women in the company, it has to be a safe environment. It has to be an environment of building up the people that work for me to become leaders, because we have to practice what we preach. Everybody doesn't need to be an entrepreneur. They need to be an investor. So we do a lot of trainings. All the things that I teach, they have access to. Everyone has a LLC, a business. We teach them how to get business capital. We show them how to invest their money outside of the work that we do. I remember I learned about how Oprah runs her business maybe 15, 20 years ago, where she had a majority of women too, where she had paid leave for her women. So the women at my job, at my company, they have paid leave. And no one really does that. So one of my VPs, she got pregnant and she had paid leave for 6 months. And I remember my CEO at first, because it was a different cultural shift. She's like, no, we're going to pay her full salary. I'm like, yeah, we're going to pay her our full salary, because I see that as an investment in her, because she's going to invest back in us when she gets back. And then when she got back, she's like, hey, can I work from home? Absolutely, you can work from home. And then she took care, she's still taking care of the business to this day. So we have an amazing, safe, empowering culture here at Bella Sloan Enterprises. And I'm saying it. I hope the women that work for us can also say it too.
Advice you wish you had followed.
My father used to say this a lot to me. He's like, friends, you got to watch out for friends, because, and this is another tagline that I have, audit your circle. And I have the merch and everything. It's super important because you know what they say, tell me about the 5 people or that you hang with, and it tells me everything about yourself. It's so true. My dad taught me that a long time ago, that the friends you choose really dictate where you go in life. And I know the simple mindset is, oh, they my day ones and I can't. And I'm like, okay, well, I had to change my circle. And ironically speaking, at a point, I had to fire my parents. And then people were like, what are you talking about? I was like, well, I wanted to become a millionaire. And my parents weren't millionaires. So there was the first people I had to fire from that circle of influence. And I had to replace them with people who were financially competent, understand money, how to leverage it, how to grow it, how to save it, and how to pass it down generationally. Because my parents didn't know how to do it, right? Because right now, both my parents live with me and I take care of my parents. Thank God I got mentors to do that. So they put me in a position where I was able to take care of my father, hire staff, and help to come be with him 12 hours a day. Thank God I understood that I need to audit my circle. thank God I got with people who showed me how to leverage my business, how to save business, how to get life insurance, how life insurance is not just for death, but while you're alive, because you use life insurance to purchase real estate, etc. Now I could teach that to my assistant. So being able to audit your circle in different areas of your life by having people who have done it or who have failed at it are the best advisors that you can have.
I want you to talk to the person that's listening, Herman.
Mm-hmm.
And you talked about the 9 to 5 and how that is your first investor.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
This person or these individuals, they're past the 9 to 5, right? And meaning, I'll just use myself as an example, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Over 60, have put in many jobs or whatever. And they're looking for that capital, running a business, trying to get access to capital. What advice would you give?
So, and that's my expertise. That's my forte. That's what I love to talk about. So a lot of people who come to me, they're like, well, I want to start my business. I have some savings. I have the 401k. I have some life insurance policies. But I always ask them the first thing, how's your credit? Because if your credit is good and you have that piece of paper, that LLC, with my eyes closed, we can help you get $20,000 to $50,000, 0% interest for 12 months. And that is cheap money that you can use. I always tell people, use other people's money, never use yours. So the money that you have sitting in your bank account, that 50,000, instead of putting that out there, go use the bank's 50,000 and 0% interest, and just use and while you're starting your business, use your savings to pay off to service the debt. So like $50,000, if you max out $50,000 right now at 0% interest for the next 12 months, that's $500 a month. That's the payment for it. Now in 12 months, it's going to go crazy. That's why it's really important to have a business plan and mentors to help you with that 50K. But if you cannot make more than $500 a month with your business, then you should not be in business. So I tell them that having good credit profile, so 680 minimum, but over a 700 credit score, definitely we look at. Having a couple of credit cards that are over 2 years old, $2,500 limit. The older the credit cards, the higher the limits, the less the usage, the more capital you're going to get on your business side. So now you're able to leverage getting $10,000, $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 to start your business. Because people think, like, where am I going to get the money? I'm like, listen, if your credit is together, we can get you some capital. If your credit is not together and you're older, then you can leverage your 401k. You can leverage your life insurance policy as financial vehicles to help start your business.
What was that aha moment when you knew you were going to be successful?
I want to say it was the first time, because even when I started Bella Sloan Enterprises, it was just a second job in my mind. Just extra capital to help take care of my wife. At the time, we didn't have any kids. So it was just, money to put to the side. I think the first aha moment is when I funded my first client. So with credit repair, I was maybe charging like $250, right? Flat fee. You get a bunch of those clients and then you just save that money, just goes into an account. But when I funded my first client and I got my first commission check, and credit repair versus business funding, credit repair is the $250 and that's it. And then you have that client for 6, 7, 8, 9 months, right? So you have them for a long time. So when you do the cost analysis, this client maybe paid me $20 a month. Terrible model I was doing at the time. When I fund somebody, I get a commission, and that commission is thousands and thousands of dollars. And I maybe have that client for 2 weeks. So I would get a commission check, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000. When I got that first commission check, that was my aha moment. I was like, aha, if I can do this once, I can do this 10 times. And I was able to do it 10 times. And then I understood then that in order for me to do it 100 times and 1,000 times, I had to get systems and I had to employ people. And that's how our business grew. And now it runs on its own. And I join amazing people on their podcast. Thank you so much for having me, Doctor. And I'm the face of the company, and I just market the business and I send them to the system so my people can take care of them. So that was my aha moment. The first time I funded somebody $50,000.
Well, you definitely dropped some value bombs. What I'm hearing, this thread is around the systems, mentors. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I want you to talk about vetting and finding mentors. And I like when you talked about the receipts, and that's mm-hmm. so important because there's a lot of people that mm-hmm. You go through trying to find the mentors, and they have a thimbleful of knowledge. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. That you're wasting your money and your time.
Vetting of a mentor is actually part of my business plan. What do I mean by that? My Instagram is Haitian CEO, Twitter, TikTok, whatever. On YouTube, it's Bella Sloan Enterprises. Myron Golden, my first mentor, he taught me to be transformational before you are transactional. What that means is give, teach. Every morning at 6 a.m., I'm posting on all my social media platforms. Once or twice a week, we post in long form content on YouTube of educating people how to fix their credit, how to start a business, how to get business capital, giving the free information. And it blows people's minds about how much free information that I'm giving them. They take that free information. This is just for executors, right? This is what I call my mentees, my executors. When you execute on this information, guess what's going to happen, doctor? You're going to be like, oh my God, I followed his steps. I got the collection deleted. I started a relationship with a bank. I made my deposits in it. I asked that bank for some money and they gave me $5,000. Thank you, Herman. They come back and they're commenting, right? So my engagement is going up, right? Remember, I'm going to answer your question about vetting, right? So now that they have these receipts, guess what they're going to do next, Doc? Well, if Herman gave me that for free, imagine if I paid him. So when you are vetting your mentor, and we are in a social media world, just follow them. Try out their free. How much free information are they giving you? Is it digestible? Is it executable? Go in the comment section. Somebody who's in your niche. You want to get into real estate? There's 100 of them in your city, in your town, or national people. Use the free information that they gave you. And if that free information helped you, because people who are really successful, the crumbs that they give you will make you money. The crumbs that they give you. So I tell people, even I have a $10,000, $25,000 product. And I tell people, I will give you the money to pay for it. Come join this free class. Go execute on these information that I'm giving you. I don't know how to fix my credit. Here are the 10 credit repair laws, FCRA 609, yada, yada, yada. Use that, write them, call them. Here's a script. Go get that collection deleted. Go get your first credit card. Go help somebody get funded. I show people how to get funded $10,000, $20,000. Now you've done it for yourself. Go do it for somebody else and charge them $1,000 commission because you got a new skill now. Oh my God, Herman, I got my $1,000 commission. Great. My mentorship is $50 a month. You just paid for 2 years of it, right? Because you got the 1,000 now. And they sign up for the mentorship. And then I give them more game in there. How you vet your mentor is by seeing the success and the receipts of the people that they should have been helping for free.
Whoa, that is amazing. If you conducted this interview, what is the one question you would have asked yourself? I want you to ask the question and answer it.
Oh, Doc, you're really good at this. What would you say to your 80-year-old self? So I am 43 right now, and I'm going to meet my 83-year-old self, God willing. And I would like my 83-year-old self to say, whoo, thank you. Because every decision I make, every moment, every hour, every day, I will be held accountable by my 80-year-old self. Pivot back to my father. My father did not eat healthy. He did not take his medicine, so he had a stroke. And he met his 69-year-old self, and his 69-year-old self was not happy. So I'm going to meet my 80-year-old self, and I'm going to make sure that person is financially stable. My children are taking care of me. I walk every day 3 to 4 miles. I exercise every day. So I'm going to be in good health. I'm going to be financially stable. And I look forward to that person saying, thank you. I appreciate the consistency of the little things that you did every single day. Because, Doc, I want to say that we're always worried about the results. But if we continue to just be consistent daily, the results will always happen. A football analogy is, everyone's trying to get a touchdown, right? But if you worry about just getting first downs, what will eventually happen? You'll get a touchdown. Worry about being consistent daily. The success will come. I think another mentor of mine, Alex Hormezi, he said this: people are not successful because they're lazy, arrogant, or ignorant. Ignorant is a nice word for dumb. You're lazy because you don't want to do the work every day, but you complain about you being fat. You're arrogant because you think you don't need to do that. Or you're just dumb because you are not educating yourself on the information to put you in a better position to be healthier mentally, physically, or spiritually. Being consistent every day is going to make Herman Dolce Jr., when I meet him in 2090, that he'll be happy with the work that I did in 2024.
We've come to the part of our interview. It's called Rapid Round of Fun. I'm going to ask you a series of questions, and I'd like you to give me very quick answers. If there's something you desire not to answer, feel free to say pass. Are you ready for the rapid?
I'm ready. I am ready, Dr. Richards.
Right. Your ideal car.
Corvette.
What is your favorite comfort food?
Curly fries.
The last movie you saw.
Black Panther.
You relax doing what?
Watching movies.
Your favorite singer or rapper?
My favorite singer, Whitney Houston.
Your favorite dance song?
I like to move it, move it.
What food you eat every week, no matter what?
Blueberries.
Work out or hit the couch?
I'm not going to lie to you. Hit the couch.
Herman Dolce Jr., thank you so much for joining us on Black Entrepreneur Experience Podcast. Before we let you go, share with our audience the best way for us to connect with you and to do business with you, and feel free to leave all your social media handles.
Dr. Richards, first, I want to thank you so much. I am honored that you trusted me to be on your platform. I know you don't put everybody on this platform, so thank you so much. Again, my name is Herman Dolce. I'm the founder of Bella Sloan Entreprises, where this company, we help people get their credit fixed. We help with being your mentor in all your credit or funding needs, and we help you get funding for any business that you have. You can reach out to us at info@bellasloanenterprises.com. That is BELLA Sloan, SLOAN, Enterprises, ENTERPRISES.com. And you can follow me on all platforms, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok, Haitian _CEO. And definitely check us out on YouTube with our long form content where we teach Bella Sloan Enterprises. You can follow us on YouTube. Doctor, thank you so much. And you could call us at our office, 609-832-3552. That is 609-83-BELLA.
That's a wrap.
Thank you for listening and subscribing to Black Entrepreneur Experience. We would love for you to leave a review and rating on iTunes and share with your friends. For show notes and more episodes, go to www.beepodcast.com. Join us next Wednesday, and remember, green is the new black. So keep your bank accounts and your business in the black.